Come do a basic hive inspection with me.
G'day. So today we're going to check out this flow hive here. We've got a new colony that's just gone in this season from the sticky stump bees. What we're hoping to do today is determine if the hive is ready for the flow box. Also we want to check for any pest or any disease. And also we want to make sure that we still have our queen here and she's laying nicely. Okay, so one of the things I suggest is that if you have any beehive, and especially if you have varroa in the area, you actually make sure you have a screen bottom floor, just like these guys do. And with that screen bottom floor, you should be pulling out this tray and inspecting it for pest and disease at least every couple of weeks. So what I'm seeing here is a lot of cappings. It's not too bad. Not seeing any hive beetle larvae, and I'm not seeing any wax moth. And if I look closely, I'm not seeing any small varroa mites that may have dropped off. Okay, so just give it a brush out and also maybe give it a scrub up, and you can put a light film of oil just in each of those tray sections. So as you can see, it's as simple as that. It's probably what the hive's been here for a good 2 or 3 months now. Yep, just a quick brush out, light film of oil. You could give it a scrub up with some soapy water if you wish. Okay, with the tray, make sure it goes all the way home. If you leave it halfway, bees can get up there and can get in your oil and you can kill a lot of bees. Okay, to light the smoker, I put in a small amount of pine needles and some pine shavings. You can use lavender buds, rosemary buds, all sorts of things. So just a small amount at the moment. Then with an ignition source, we want to light that up. Give it a few puffs. And we want to get some nice red hot embers down in the smoker. Once we have some nice red hot embers, we can take a large handful and really pack it in there and give it a good puff, get it smoking again. And that should be pretty much self-sustaining. Now as you can see, there's a lot of litter on the ground here, so if you are using a smoker, it's a good idea to have something to sit your smoker on or something to sit your smoker in, such as this galvanised bucket. Okay, these are sticky stump bees and I know they're very calm. Wouldn't have sold them if they weren't calm. However, it's been a little while since we've worked with them, so I'm going to put the bee suit on. Lovely. Make sure our little wing nuts are undone on our lid. We're going to give the girls some smoke at the entrance, and I'm staying about 4 to 5 inches away from the entrance. I'm not putting the smoker right up on top of the bees. We're also got a bit of an ant problem up top. Before we do that, we might just sweep them off. pull this little plug out here and give the bees a little bit of smoke up under there. Okay, from here I'm just going to take this cover board off. And she's glued shut with lots of honey, by the feel of it. And lots of burr comb. So there you go. Regular inspections will stop this being glued so much together, but that's okay. Okay, so one tip is to always look on the lid of items when you remove them from the hive. I have found the queen up here, and if you put this down on the ground, the little queen could walk along the ground and you can stand on her. Now I don't see her at all, but what I do see is lovely, beautiful, healthy, shiny worker bees. So most of these are all just normal female worker bees, and let's find a drone so we can point it out. So there we go, this big one right here with the eyes up on top of the head, that's a drone, and he's unable to sting. He doesn't have a stinger like all the worker bees do. There's another one right there. Okay, so now it's time to pull out the frames and inspect the beehive, or the brood chamber. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of smoke again up on top. The girls are just having a great old time enjoying the little bit of honey up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bee tool, and I'm just going to crack the propolis seal between each frame, and I do that on both ends, and I just work gently with the bees and calmly. And as we get deeper into the inspection, you'll see why it pays to just get this out of the way right now. If the bees are getting in your way, just slowly put the tool in. And use it sometimes, just push them out of the way. There's no need to hurry. They're making some beautiful honey here. Okay, so we've cracked every seal between the frames. Okay, so they glue the frames together with propolis and a bit of wax. So now we want to remove our frames, and I do this starting with the second frame first. The reason being is, if we look at the gap between the first frame and the wall, and the gap between the first frame and the second frame, the gap between the wall is a lot smaller, and we sometimes have cross comb or burr comb joining our frame to the wall, and as we pull that first frame out, that comb can come up and it can roll our queen, it can roll a lot of bees and squish a lot of bees. We certainly don't want our queen to be squished. So I always start with the second one, and I use this part of the tool. It's called the J hook, I suppose. They sometimes call it a J tool, and I slowly insert it just in under the frame, and I use it like a lever, lifting up the frame. With my left hand I grab hold of the frame, and I do the same at the other end. Once I've got it like this, I can just pull the frame up gently and place my tool down in the bucket so I don't lose it, and inspect the bees. So yep, it'd be great to see the queen today, but when we do an inspection, it's not all about seeing the queen. What we do want to see though is that we have flat capped off worker brood. Now this can only be laid by the queen. That means all these cappings here underneath is a little female bee. If we have convexed trappings. That will be a drone. So laid by an infertile egg, possibly by the queen and also possibly by a laying worker bee. But today on this first frame, we have lovely flat capped off worker bee that can only be laid by the queen. Let's get a closer look. Okay, so a lot of the bees on this frame are nurse bees and they're caring for the young. Nurse bees haven't quite developed. They're in the early stages of their life. So if we were to accidentally bump this frame onto the ground, a lot of them probably wouldn't fly up and get back in the hive. So we've got to be careful. So if we ever are going to shake the frame or sweep it, we do it over the top of the hive. And I'm looking for the queen. We want the bees to move out of the way, just blow on them. Or you can use your smoker. Okay, so I don't see the queen up on here. Now, I normally just rest my frames just gently down on the ground. The nurse bees seem to stay on the frame itself, and if they do wish to walk up the frame onto the box, they can do so. Okay, so I've just noticed a bit of a hum change of the hive, just a bit louder, and so I'm just going to give the girls a little bit of smoke.
Okay, that's the end of part 1. Don't forget to check out part 2, and if you like this video, give us a like and hit subscribe.